Congratulations on your new single, Let Me Reintroduce Myself. And thank you so much for it because it's just what we needed, I guess. I love this light-spirited reggae influenced song. It's such a moody one. I love it. Thank you for doing this song right now.
You know what? That is like just money to my ears. Like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like I ordered from God. I was like, hey, use me. Like, if you want me to do some music, send it down. And it was like really everything you just said. Maybe they gave you a memo, but everything you just said is what I ordered. Like, I wanted to make something that was fun, nostalgic, lighthearted, full of just me, like from the past, from me now, and just kind of recycled. And so the fact that you said that means so much. It's almost, it makes it feel very like my prayers were answered.
Yes, it really is. It really feels like that. It connects to me that way. So, and what I have to say too is that it sounds like a Gwen Stefani single. It immediately puts me into your Gwen Stefani world, which I love, but with a new spirit, I guess. And you manifest it in a line, not a comeback. I'm recycling me. It's not a comeback. You feel that new energy. So maybe you can help us with that new energy. What is the new energy that surrounds you these days, and how would you introduce yourself these days, maybe in comparison to before?
Well, I kind of, feel like I'm in a new chapter of my life. It took about 5 years to get to this place. 5 years ago, I did This Is What the Truth Feels Like record, which was made out of desperation and heartache and brokenness. And it's a different energy when you're writing a record, because you have to, because you think you might die, you know what I mean? And then halfway through the record, start falling in love with a cowboy. Like, what? Like, none of it makes sense. And then I did a Christmas record, which is one of my favorite projects I've ever worked on, but that's a Christmas record. That's different. You're not really expressing yourself in the same kind of way. And this one is just unexpected. I didn't really think I was going to be doing this. And because of the pandemic, I think, in the lockdown, and being forced into sort of having a pause and being with the family and cooking and cleaning, doing laundry and doing homeschool but also being not knowing when the next thing is going to happen, which is, for Blake and I, that was wonderful, because we needed that, and my kids needed it. And it was, there's a lot of blessings in disguise if you look. And I think that was inspiring to want to be creative again as well. You know what I mean? And when they said, hey, they're writing songs on Zoom, everyone's doing it, I was like,
I am in.
Well, I was like, that sounds horrible and scary, because it's scary enough, like to meet people and try to be creative. And it's a tall order when you have a wake of work that is behind you that you're proud of, but how do you live up to it? You know what I mean? And how do you be relevant when you're super way older than you used to be? And does anyone care anymore? And all these feelings, So I think when I met Ross, who's one of the writers on this song, I was working with Luke, and Luke introduced me to Ross. He sort of was investigating my brain about all of those insecurities. And when he said, let me reintroduce myself, it kind of gave me like an excuse to be like, hey, you know me, but if you want a little bit more just for fun, because guess what? I'm sitting around in a pandemic and I can write some songs for you. Here I am, recycled. And it was kind of like a fun way, and sarcastic and just silly. And that's kind of what I wanted. I think reggae music has that like lighthearted place that we all kind of love. Who doesn't love reggae? You know what I'm saying? So, and it's very authentic to when I first started getting into music. So
yeah, I wanted to ask you about that, because of course there are many layers to every one of us. Everyone has different faces and moods and layers. So why not put it into music? And that's what I wanted to ask, because the single feels so free and full of joy. I think you can really hear that with this full circle thing of going back to your musical roots, maybe when you started, when it was all just about the music, not about expectations in the industry and everything. Is that what the single inspired?
I think that, honestly, there's this little gap in my memory of why did I say I was going to do reggae, and it must be because it was a spiritual, like, when you
Yeah.
pray and you pray for God to guide you, like, things happen. And I feel like I just had that, that came to me. And when I started writing with writers and saying, this is what I want to do, and it was very clear to me what I wanted to do, it was just like a wildfire. Like, everybody was so into it, and they just started coming out. I have like 20 songs, and this was just one of the songs I wrote. Didn't think it would be a single at all. It was just one day Blake was listening to all the songs that I had done driving in the truck, and he called me and he was like, that song, it was like, he has such a good ear for songs. He just had his number 28th number one radio hit in a row, and I got to be part of it. So it was fun to be part of that genre too. I think that inspired me, bouncing in a different genre, to go back to where I started, again.
Yeah. Okay. So as you just said, it is the first single after 5 years. Were you a little bit insecure starting writing again and making and crafting music again?
I'm always insecure, doing anything, like we all are. I think that, being creative is when you're creative and you open yourself up and ideas don't come, it's humiliating when you're on a Zoom with really talented writers that have all these expectations of probably what they think you are, what you can do. And so, but that feeds the fire as well, and I think that, like, I just found the right kind of chemistry with the people I was writing with, and just started to become more and more kind of know what my role was. I think I'm always best when I'm collaborating. Everything I've ever done. Yeah. I think what I'm good at is inspiring people. And I think that when I was in the room, the actual Zoom rooms with people, it felt like I knew what I needed to do. And I did a lot of writing, like, outside. So, like, I would, instead of being on my stupid phone, like looking at the internet, I would run to my computer, and every word that comes out of someone's mouth, everything I'm watching on TV, I just was in a zone. And it's very spiritual, and it was just a really magical time.
Yeah, sure it is. One last question, maybe, because I think we're running out of time. What was it that came out for you at the end of this process that maybe you didn't expect, because you weren't really planning on writing music and maybe writing an album? I mean, you've got 20 songs coming. So what was there for you that came out in the end of this process that you didn't expect?
Probably this interview right now, hearing you say what you've said. I don't know if they prepped you, but it was just, music to my ears, and exactly the intent was to do something that was fun and make people have joy, and share a little bit of what I've been doing with people. I think that music is just so magical and healing, and everybody needs a little bit of that right now. And I just feel so happy to be able to share it. So, yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself. I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for letting us taking part in your life and blessing us with your music. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good one. Have a good Christmas too.
Bye. Thank you.